told you I was going to try something different. Yep. So, yo, it's me, it's the SCOTT baby, and I'm here finally give you my review for the 2019 piece of shit movie, X-Men Dark Phoenix, starring James McAvoy and I'll just name them off. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, Alexander Shipman, Jessica Chastain. And yes, I do say piece of shit movie. Cause it is. I just gotta tell you, I'm glad I'm done. I know I said I'm gonna do Once Upon a Deadpool, and I will. It's not gonna be part of this series. Once this is uploaded, I'm gonna record my ranking for the X-Men franchise. Because I don't know when, if ever, we're gonna get fucking New Mutants. The way everything is, that poor movie. By the time it comes out, nobody's gonna care. I might. Because it'll be a reprieve from these fucking characters, I'll tell you that much. Okay. Watching this, I just kept doing this a lot. Because there's so much, everything in this movie just pisses me off. It's like they took all the criticisms that they made in X-Men The Last Stand. Oh, there's no aliens? Let's give them aliens. Oh, they didn't like that Charles hid her powers from her. Okay. Let's have Charles hide something else from her. Oh, they didn't like that she didn't get her Phoenix powers from outer space. We'll give her Phoenix powers to her from outer space, even though we showed she already had them in Apocalypse. It doesn't make any sense, this movie. I tell you right now. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is, where do I start with this movie actually? So, okay, let's go from the plot points I mentioned. 1, I forgot what I just talked about. So, 1, they didn't like the fact that there weren't aliens involved with this. So they gave us aliens, but they gave us the wrong fucking aliens. I don't know what these aliens were called, but I remember when I went to see this movie, I had no idea what they were. I thought they were made up, so I looked it up. They are aliens from the comics, from a totally different story in the comics, and the leader of these aliens, played by Jessica Chastain in this film, is actually a male alien that these are not connected to the Dark Phoenix. Maybe a small part, but not this. When Jessica Chang was cast as the villain in this film, it was rumored she was going to be playing Lilandra, who is of the Shi'ar Empire, which is connected to the Phoenix. The one thing that caught me, though, is when it was rumored, I said, Lilandra's not a villain. She's an ally to the X-Men and a love interest for Xavier. Her brother D'Ken, on the other hand, is a villain, and they needed to cast him. But no, and for the longest time, they wouldn't tell us what her role was, other than it was an amalgamation of characters from the franchise. It was rumored she was going to be a female mastermind, which is a character which would have worked had they not ruined the Hellfire Club in First Class. Now, not totally ruined, it worked with that story, but the Hellfire Club and the Mastermind were in league together, and they used Hellfire Club already, which already blew my mind once they keep saying Dark Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, Dark Phoenix. You don't need to be Dark Phoenix if you already used the Hell Club, which was a part of the Dark Phoenix saga, at least in the animated series. I'm going by the animated series basis for the storylines for these, okay? And in the animated series, it was the Hellfire Club and Mastermind, specifically, that was controlling the Dark Phoenix, because Jean lost her memory. Dark Phoenix couldn't remember anything, and they used that to their advantage. If you're going by just the Phoenix saga, then you have D'Ken, who is the villain, or of the working with the Shi'ar Empire, or a renegade from the Shi'ar Empire. You have Lilandra, the queen of the Shi'ar Empire, who has who was the love interest for Xavier, who is not a bad guy. And that would have worked. But you just decided, oh, we're just going to give them aliens. We don't care which aliens they are. We don't care if they're the right ones. We'll just give them aliens and they'll be happy. That's not how it works. You got to do it right. 2. Oh, they didn't like that she didn't get her powers from outer space. So what do? They have her get her powers from outer space. Even fucking though they showed in X-Men Apocalypse that she already had her fucking Phoenix powers. She used those to defeat Apocalypse. And yet, they still did the thing where she goes to space and gets her powers. All you had to do was, instead of that, you could have it where she can't control her powers. And what you can reveal is the car accident when she was a kid, instead of the fact that she killed her parents, which has nothing to do, she killed her mom, has nothing to do with the Phoenix powers she got from Earth, but the Phoenix powers she already fucking had. Instead of that being it, you could say that something crashed to Earth back then and has been inside her since then, and that was part of what that's what she expelled against Apocalypse, and now she can't fucking control it. That's all you had to do. But no, you tried to satisfy the fans, and you retcon the shit out of everything that you set forth before this. What was my third point? What was the third point? I forget. It was aliens, Phoenix power from space, and that Xavier was hiding something from it. Okay, people were mad that Xavier hid the fact that she had these superpowers. Well, then they just have him hide something else. I remember for the trailer, I'm like, oh, they're still doing this hiding thing from her. This time, he hid that she accidentally killed her mother. And the fact that he just decided to make it in her mind that both of her parents were dead. Beyond that, they kill off Mystique, which I wasn't angry about, because 1, you basically told us in the trailers that's what was going to happen. And 2, what I was building towards here, what I thought we were supposed to be building towards, was the future shown to us at the end of Days of Future Past, where Wolverine comes back and everyone is there. So I thought there are 3 characters, there are 4 characters that you could show us that could die, and it wouldn't matter to his vision. Mystique, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, and Magneto. Because we don't see them at the X-Mansion at the end. Everyone else we do. Every one of the more important characters we do. Which one of those characters dies? Not a fucking one, but Mystique. That's it. Mystique dies. In the long run, it doesn't matter, because as I've explained in the previous reviews, it's a different timeline. She can die. That's fine. Why am I so pissed? Why am I getting so pissed? Well, because of who they do kill off. Oh, Quicksilver. Here's a Quicksilver thing. Were you expecting another slow motion scene set to some music? You're funny. You think you're gonna get anything you want out of this movie. He starts to do a slow motion thing, but is taken out by the Phoenix. He's not killed, but he's injured and sidelined for the rest of this film. And I have a feeling he was supposed to come back in the end, during the climax, but because they decided to refilm the climax because it was supposedly too close to Captain Marvel, and instead of it being in space, like it fucking should have, it took place on a fucking train. But you ask Scotty, why are you so mad about them killing off someone? Well, it's someone who we knew was alive in the future when Wolverine came back because he talked to her. That's fucking Jean. Yes, they kill Jean. That's where I was done. And it's at the end, she sacrifices herself to defeat the aliens, and I was like, no, fuck this movie. Just fuck this movie. You know why? Because that contradicts what we were shown at the end of Days of Future Past. The whole premise, the whole focus of Days of Future Past was to change the fucking future so that everybody was fucking alive, and X-Men The Last Stand never fucking happened. That's what we were doing. We did that movie to change the future so that everyone was alive, and then you took this, you said, fuck you fans, and you killed her anyway. Because here's what I think happened. Alright? Here's what I think happened. They went to reshoot the ending and said, you know what? This is going to be the last one. No one's going to care what we do with the characters. They already killed out everybody in Logan. So you know what? Jean's going to die saving the world. And just to make it better, we'll just call the school the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters. Here's another thing. Charles Xavier, he's an asshole for half the movie, only wanting the fame of helping out these people, and not to help them, just to help them to get the fame. That's not what Charles Xavier is at fucking all. Okay? That's not what he is at all. And Simon Kinberg has been with this franchise from the beginning, and he directed this thing. I didn't mention that, but he directed this thing. Bryan Singer should have stayed on, because every time Bryan Singer leaves a franchise, they fuck it up. No, Apocalypse wasn't the best fucking movie to begin with, but it was decent enough to where even if they did a little bit of retconning, you could forgive it because it's a new timeline. Here, it's basically they said, this is going to be the last one anyway, fuck continuity and fuck the fans. Basically what they said. They reshot the ending, and they have Xavier leave the school, because that makes fucking sense. He gives it to Beast, and Beast is now comfortable with being blue, despite the fact that he's been against it since first class, and has been taking these stupid little serums to stop his powers from showing up, and now he's, they have him, after Mystique's death, they have him join Magneto, who, Magneto's really needed in this film, because he wasn't needed in Apocalypse, for God's sakes, if they did it right, and by the way, they never fucking have Quicksilver tell him that he's his son, not once, because that would be too, makes much fucking sense now, don't you think? And, okay, what does he do in this? Charles, I can't let you do this. Oh, come on, Eric, I need to do this. No, Charles, you can't do this. The same fucking thing it does in every fucking movie. You could have written off Magneto after Days of Future Past, and it would be fine. He didn't need to be one of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. He didn't need to be in this. Genosha was brought in. That's fine. And he comes here at the end to offer Xavier to join him in there. But I understand. I've said before this is a different timeline. But Xavier leaving the school contradicts everything that Xavier has stood for that school since he created it. And yes, they did that with the Future Past. But it changes the future outcome that Wolverine saw. It even changes what they said in fucking Logan. This movie is shit. It completely shits all over the rest of the franchise and the X-Men comics and the cartoon and everything the X-Men stand for. Why? Because they don't care. From the start of this franchise, they have done things their own way. And we, little by little, have just said, okay, fine. They wouldn't, it's not exactly the way it is in the comics or cartoon, whatever. But they've done all right. They slipped up in X-Men Origins, but they kept on going just fine. Apocalypse was the first one that people said, wait a minute, something's not right here. And then we get to this. And they just, basically, what they said was, this is the last one, we don't care, just throw something together. That's basically what it is, because everything in this film is a basic fuck you to the entire franchise and to the entire fan base who are invested in this franchise because they knew it was going to be the last one. They didn't want to put any real effort into it, and they just wanted to make a movie because they had to make a movie because we promised we were going to have a Dark Phoenix, and even though we promised we're going to do it right this time, we're not. We're just going to throw something at you, call it Dark Phoenix, and there you go. if you guys can't tell, I love this movie, man. It's the best X-Men movie out there, you know? It's the best. It deserves all the... It's gonna get 10. No, this movie... Now, I will say that it's not Slender Man bad. I mean, it ruins a character like Slender Man. What can I say? You know what? No, fuck it. This movie's gonna get a 0. It's a rarity. It's like the 10s. But this movie has pissed me off so much, you can tell, it's gonna get a 0. And it's gonna find itself a place where all the other hated films I put right here, next to Joker and Slender Man, in the mini fridge, my vault of shit. Alright? So what are your thoughts on Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.